Welcome back to our channel. Today, in quiet reverence, we remember the talented artists who left us too soon, some only just days ago. From the icons of Hollywood to rising stars, they each brought light to the world of entertainment, until they passed away suddenly. If you feel moved by their stories, we invite you to leave a like as a silent tribute in their memory. Thank you. Now, let us begin.
So we knew them pretty well inside out, and we'd worked out the arrangements, so it was very quick, the recording process.
Mick Ralphs, the legendary guitarist of Bad Company and Mott the Hoople, has sadly passed away at the age of 81. Known for his soulful riffs and timeless rock anthems, Ralphs left an unforgettable imprint on the music world. His death was announced on June 23, 2025. Though the cause was not specified, his final years were spent in quiet dignity after a debilitating stroke in 2016. Born in Herefordshire, England, Ralphs was a founding member of Mott the Hoople, and later Bad Company, two iconic rock groups that shaped the sound of the 70s. His work on hits like Can't Get Enough, Movin' On, and Ready for Love captured the spirit of a generation and brought lasting cultural impact. His legacy lives on not just through music, but in the soul of rock and roll itself. Despite suffering a life-altering stroke after his final performance at London's O2 Arena, Ralphs remained a symbol of quiet strength and musical devotion. His comeback with Bad Company over the years was celebrated by fans across generations. Fellow bandmates Paul Rodgers and Simon Kirke remembered him as a dear friend and amazing, versatile guitarist, while his partner Susie and family mourn the loss of a beloved soul. Mick Ralphs' legacy, as a veteran mentor and pillar of rock history, will forever inspire those who hear his songs. His memory is now part of the soundtrack of our lives. Bobby Sherman, the beloved teen idol and star of Here Come the Brides, has tragically passed away at the age of 81. His wife, Brigitte Poublon, confirmed that he died after a courageous battle with stage 4 cancer, peacefully holding her hand in his final moments. Sherman rose to fame in the 1960s, capturing hearts with his boyish charm, signature blue eyes, and a string of Billboard hits including Little Woman, Julie, Do You Love Me, and Easy Come, Easy Go. As the shy but lovable Jeremy Bolt on Here Come the Brides, he became a household name, one of the true Hollywood stars of his era. His cultural impact went beyond music and screen, adorning posters, lunchboxes, and the dreams of countless American fans. Though fame brought chaos, Sherman later found redemption in a new calling, as an emergency medical technician and reserve police officer. He described saving lives as his greatest reward, embodying the quiet strength of a true veteran mentor. His comeback into public service defined his enduring legacy. His wife tenderly described him as my Prince Charming, and their 29 years of marriage as a fairy tale lived in grace. Bobby Sherman's legacy lives on through his music, his sons, grandchildren, and the Bridget and Bobby Sherman Children's Foundation, a cultural beacon of compassion and dedication. He may have passed away, but his spirit will forever sing in the hearts of those he inspired. Sadly, Lou Christie, the legendary falsetto pop singer behind Lightnin' Strikes and Rhapsody in the Rain, has passed away at the age of 82. His wife, Francesca, confirmed that the beloved artist died peacefully at their home in Pittsburgh following a brief illness. Known for his distinct high-register voice and lyrical daring, Christie was a defining sound of the 1960s pop scene and remains etched in the hearts of countless fans. Christie first rose to fame in 1963 with hits like The Gypsy Cried and Two Faces Have I, penned alongside longtime collaborator Twyla Herbert. His cultural impact soared with the chart-topping Lightnin' Strikes in 1966, and later, the controversial yet unforgettable Rhapsody in the Rain. Christie's voice and vision helped shape the soundscape of an era, solidifying his legacy as a true American legend. His path wasn't without struggle. A 2-year Army service interrupted his early success, and his most iconic song was initially rejected by record executives. Yet Christie's comeback story, driven by personal investment and artistic belief, epitomizes redemption and creative resilience. Survived by his wife and daughter, and remembered deeply after the tragic loss of his son Christopher in 2014, Lou's legacy lives on in every note. As tributes pour in from fans and fellow celebrities alike, the cultural impact of this Hollywood star continues to echo. For those wondering who died today, we remember Lou Christie and the light he brought to the world. Brian Wilson, the legendary frontman of the Beach Boys and a pioneer of pop harmony, has tragically passed away at the age of 82. The heartbreaking news was confirmed by his family, who shared that the beloved musician died peacefully at his home in Los Angeles. Though the exact cause of death has not been disclosed, Wilson had been diagnosed with dementia in early 2024, marking a slow decline in health. As the founding member of the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson's cultural impact reshaped American music. From the sun-soaked anthems of Surfin' USA to the symphonic brilliance of Pet Sounds, his musical genius defined an era. His innovative production style and unmatched mastery of vocal harmony created a legacy that echoes across generations. Yet behind the timeless melodies was a man who battled deep personal struggles, from hearing loss to lifelong mental health challenges. Wilson's redemption came through resilience, returning to the stage, completing long-lost projects like Smile, and receiving honors such as Grammy wins and the Kennedy Center tribute. He leaves behind his wife Francesca, daughter Bianca, and a musical legacy worth an estimated $100 million. More importantly, he leaves behind the sound of summer, the spirit of youth, and a place in the hearts of millions. "Summer's gone," he once wrote, "but his voice and his message will forever shine." Goodbye, Brian Wilson, and thank you for the harmony. Roberta Flack, the iconic American vocalist known for killing me softly with his song, has tragically passed away at the age of 88. A Grammy-winning legend and cultural touchstone of the 1970s, Flack became one of the first solo artists to win Record of the Year 2 years in a row. Her timeless ballads, "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face," "Feel Like Makin' Love," and her signature hit "Killing Me Softly," defined an era and touched generations with their quiet strength and emotional depth. Her passing was confirmed by her representative, who shared that she died peacefully, surrounded by family. Sadly, Flack had been battling ALS since 2022, a devastating illness that took her voice, but not her spirit. Roberta's journey was one of resilience and quiet redemption. After surviving a stroke in 2016 and COVID-19 in 2022, she still found the strength to release new music, including the reflective single "Running." Her final public honor came in 2023, when she received an honorary doctorate from Berklee College of Music. In the words of her team, Roberta broke boundaries and records. She was a proud educator and a mentor to many. With an estimated net worth of $20 million, no children, and a legacy etched into American music history, her voice and impact will live on eternally.
Open it up, that was my Bible. And I think I repeated the Lord's Prayer about 40 times.
Sam Moore, the legendary soul singer and one half of the iconic duo Sam and Dave, has sadly passed away at the age of 89. He died on January 10, 2025, in Coral Gables, Florida, due to complications from surgery. His death marks the end of an era for soul music and the world of American legends. Known for his electrifying tenor, Moore brought the world unforgettable hits like "Soul Man," "Hold On, I'm Coming," and "I Thank You," defining an era of deep cultural impact. Moore's career spanned more than 6 decades. With Dave Prater, he delivered 6 top 10 hits and earned induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. Their music became anthems of resilience and pride, especially Soul Man, now enshrined in the Library of Congress. Yet Moore's path included moments of darkness. After a painful breakup with Prater and a battle with addiction, his sobriety journey began in the 1980s, guided by his wife, Joyce. His powerful comeback included the release of Overnight Sensational and advocacy for artist rights in Congress. Bruce Springsteen called Moore one of America's greatest soul voices. Stephen Van Zandt honored him as one of the last of the great soul men. Sam Moore leaves behind a profound legacy. As a performer, a veteran mentor, and a soul icon whose voice and redemption story remain eternal.
Flashed through my mind, so I picked up the pen and turning the paper over.
Melba Montgomery, the beloved country music singer known for her heartfelt duets with George Jones and her powerful solo ballads, has sadly passed away at the age of 86. Her death was confirmed on January 15, 2025, by her daughter, Melissa Solomon Barrett, who shared that Melba had endured a long battle with dementia. In her final days, she was surrounded by love and remembered as an incredibly talented, kind, and generous woman. Montgomery's cultural impact on American country music began in the early 1960s. With her signature duets, We Must Have Been Out of Our Minds, Let's Invite Them Over, and Party Pickin', she and George Jones shaped the golden age of country harmony. Her biggest solo success came in 1974 with No Charge, a song that moved generations with its emotional depth. Though fame ebbed in later years, Melba found a quiet redemption in songwriting. Her words lived on through voices like George Strait, Patty Loveless, and Sarah Evans, keeping her legacy strong across decades. In 2000, Strait's What Do You Say to That became a top 5 hit, a stunning comeback moment for a veteran mentor. As her family said, she waited over 10 years to hold Dad again. Melba Montgomery leaves behind not only children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, but also a timeless legacy, a soulful catalog, and a story of quiet resilience that will forever echo in the heart of country music. Linda Nolan, the celebrated Irish pop legend and beloved television personality, has sadly passed away at the age of 65. Her agent confirmed she died at Blackpool's Victoria Hospital, surrounded by her loving siblings, after a courageous battle with cancer. A beacon of hope and quiet resilience, Linda faced her illness with dignity, humor, and grace. Linda rose to fame as part of the Nolans, a family pop group that enchanted Europe and Japan with disco classics like I'm in the Mood for Dancing. The group earned multiple top 10 hits, toured with Frank Sinatra, and became global ambassadors of feel-good pop. In 2009, she reunited with her sisters for a comeback album that rekindled the magic. After leaving the band, Linda carved out a new path in West End musicals, most notably in Blood Brothers, earning a Guinness World Record with her siblings. She later found a second home in British television, appearing on Celebrity Big Brother, Loose Women, and as a columnist for the Daily Mirror. Her journey was marked by deep personal loss and public strength. Despite losing her husband and sister Bernie to cancer, Linda continued to uplift others, writing and speaking openly about survival and love. Her agent remembered her as a kind and generous woman. Linda Nolan's legacy lives on, in music, on stage, and in the hearts of fans touched by her honesty, laughter, and enduring spirit.
Of the year that I try to make fun things happen. It's all about me giving them what I really want.
Beyond the Breakdown, how Mariah Carey reclaimed her crown. They say legends are born, not made. But in the case of Mariah Carey, the legend was carved out of both divine talent and sheer human will. An odyssey of glittering highs, catastrophic lows, and a voice that refused to fall silent. Welcome, dear viewers, to this tribute to a woman whose story is not just one of fame, but of redemption, legacy, and the quiet strength that defines the rarest kind of artist. If you've ever been moved by a note she sang, a lyric she wrote, or the sheer vulnerability she carried through it all, please share your memories in the comments below. Let's remember, together. Mariah was born on March 27, 1969, in Huntington, New York, to a multicultural family. Her mother, Patricia, a classically trained opera singer of Irish descent, and her father, Alfred Roy Carey, an aeronautical engineer of African-American and Afro-Venezuelan heritage. Their home was often divided by noise, some from conflict, but much of it from music. That music would become her escape, her battleground, and eventually, her redemption. By age 3, Mariah's parents had divorced, and she was already retreating inward, scribbling poems, mimicking vocal runs, and burying herself in melodies. Her mother, recognizing raw talent, trained her daughter's voice with the precision of a maestro. She didn't just raise a child, she mentored a legacy. After high school, Mariah moved to New York City with little more than a demo tape and determination. That tape found its way into the hands of Columbia Records CEO Tommy Mottola, thanks to pop singer Brenda K. Starr. After hearing just 2 tracks, Mottola knew this wasn't the next Whitney Houston. This was the first Mariah Carey. Her debut album, Mariah Carey, 1990, introduced the world to a 5-octave range that soared past expectation and logic. The public response was immediate. She won 2 Grammys, including Best New Artist, and her meteoric rise had only just begun. 3 years later, in 1993, she released Music Box, an album that would cement her place among the all-time greats. With 28 million copies sold worldwide, it spent an astonishing 128 weeks on the Billboard charts. And then came the moment that would etch her name into every holiday memory forever. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Written in just 15 minutes, the song would go on to sell over 16 million copies and generate more than $60 million in royalties, a cultural impact felt across generations. But what made Mariah stand apart wasn't just her voice. It was the way she curated every part of her image, home, and heart. In her own words, if you're gonna get one, might as well start with the Ultimate Icon Award. That dry wit, self-awareness, and diva sparkle were always part of her charm. And so were her personal quirks, like her refusal to use mascara. "It's too much drama to take off," she once quipped. Or her nightly ritual of milk baths, a nod to Cleopatra herself. One interviewer dubbed it bath diplomacy because it was the only setting Mariah would agree to be interviewed in, wrapped in bubbles, surrounded by lavender, and completely in control. She curated her surroundings with the same precision. Her Tribeca triplex, Bahamas beachfront mansion, and her now-sold Atlanta estate weren't just homes, they were extensions of her soul. Her prized possessions? A custom walk-in closet housing over $1 million worth of designer shoes, and her Rolls-Royce Phantom drophead coupe. Because if she had to travel, she might as well arrive like royalty. At the peak of her stardom, she was earning $27 million a year, judging on American Idol, and signing a $30 million Las Vegas residency deal. She wasn't just the queen of Christmas, she was the queen of comeback. The girl from Green Lawn, New York, had become a woman who redefined diva. Not as someone difficult, but as someone divine. But, as we'll soon discover, the crown she wore came with a cost, and the fall would be just as spectacular as the rise. But even the most powerful voice can be silenced by pressure. In 2001, at the height of fame, Mariah Carey experienced a very public unraveling. It wasn't just the collapse of a superstar, it was the heartbreak of a woman. Her highly anticipated film and album Glitter debuted to brutal reviews. Audiences mocked what she had poured her soul into. At the same time, rumors swirled of erratic behavior. She posted disjointed messages online. She gave rambling interviews. Eventually, it was too much. Mariah was hospitalized for what her team initially called extreme exhaustion, but behind the euphemism was a woman quietly breaking. She had been working non-stop for over a decade. Fame had not only fed her, it had devoured her. And now, she was on the edge. "I just couldn't go on pretending everything was okay," she would later admit. It was a moment of sobriety, not just in mind, but in truth. Her marriage to Tommy Mottola had ended years earlier, marked by control and creative suffocation. The public laughed at Glitter, but few saw that it mirrored her own story, a young woman trying to escape manipulation, to find her voice and be taken seriously. From the ashes of this collapse, Mariah disappeared. But she didn't vanish. She healed. Privately, she turned inward. She wrote. She prayed. She soaked in lavender baths, refusing to read a single headline. "I don't read anything written about me. That's one of my coping mechanisms. It's taking a bath," she once shared with quiet honesty. Her bath became her cathedral, her silence, her shield. Then, in 2005, she returned, not with a whisper, but a resurrection. The Emancipation of Mimi wasn't just a comeback album, it was a redemption arc in melody. Songs like "We Belong Together" and "It's Like That" weren't just hits, they were healing, anthem by anthem. The album sold over 10 million copies worldwide, won multiple Billboard Music Awards, and earned her a new generation of fans. Even critics who had once dismissed her now called it the comeback of the decade. It was more than chart success. It was proof that legacy isn't built in uninterrupted ascent. It's shaped by the valleys, the cracks, and the courage to sing again after silence. From here, Mariah redefined herself, not just as a singer, but as a veteran mentor, a cultural icon, and a woman unapologetically in command of her identity. Her Las Vegas residency was a triumph, turning her catalog into a nightly masterclass. Her performances on American Idol and at holiday specials became more than music. They became tradition. Through it all, she held on to the small things, her 8 dogs, pampered with spa treatments and first-class flights. Her refusal to wear mascara because it's too much drama to take off. Her milk baths, her velvet speaking voice always laced with wit. Mariah was more than a diva. She was a woman who understood the art of survival, and in her own quiet way, she began to share that strength. With her twins Moroccan and Monroe, she led by example, teaching them the value of self-worth, privacy, and resilience. With her fans, she opened up more about her past, her struggles, and her journey toward emotional sobriety. She spoke of learning to say no, of choosing her peace over approval, of singing only when she wanted to sing, not when others demanded. The girl who once sang to escape had become the woman who sang to inspire. Today, at 56 years old, Mariah Carey continues to reign, not just as a singer, but as a survivor, a veteran mentor, and a cultural icon whose influence ripples across generations. Her legacy isn't just counted in record sales or #1 hits. It lives in the way people feel when they hear her voice. It's in the confidence of every woman who dares to be bold, soft, extra, and completely herself. In 2025, Mariah stunned the world once again at the BET Awards. Draped in a shimmering gold gown and a sleek black ensemble, she unveiled a dramatic weight loss transformation. But more than that, it was her energy, centered, serene, and radiant, that lit up the room. She took the mic, not just to sing, but to speak. "It took me a while," she said, "but I finally realized life is far too short to live for anyone else's approval." In that moment, the applause wasn't for a song, it was for a life reclaimed. Her current life is one of curated elegance and intentional peace. She divides her time between her Bahamas oceanfront estate, her cozy New York penthouse, and wherever inspiration calls her next. Her twins, Moroccan and Monroe, are teenagers now, each carrying her laugh, her strength, and her sense of humor. She no longer performs to prove anything. She sings to celebrate. Her wellness routine, once overwhelmed by overwork, is now rooted in self-care. Lavender baths remain sacred. She cooks, she writes. She still speaks to her dogs like royalty and smiles when they answer back. And though she doesn't own a private jet, she charters flights when needed, because as she once quipped with that signature wink, "I've earned a little extra." Mariah has become a quiet force behind the scenes as well, mentoring younger artists, supporting charities for children and mental health, and speaking out when it matters most. Her message has always been simple. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. That mantra is the thread woven through her sobriety journey, her comeback, her every act of redemption. And what of her cultural impact? It's everywhere. In every grocery store playing "All I Want for Christmas Is You" come November. In every singer reaching for impossible notes. In every woman who dares to take back her story, her body, her voice. Mariah Carey didn't just leave a mark, she built a monument. And so, let us leave you with one final image. A woman, just past sunrise, steps out onto her Bahamas terrace. The ocean is calm. The breeze is gentle. She's wearing a silk robe, coffee in hand, and her dogs are circling her feet. She walks barefoot to the edge, where the pool meets the horizon, and smiles, not at the world, but at herself, because for once, she doesn't need applause to feel whole. The diva has found her peace. My extraness, my fabulousness, and yes, my success and my iconicness. I guess that's what they're telling me tonight, she told the crowd at the BET Awards. And I appreciate it. That, dear viewers, is legacy. Thank you for spending this journey with us. If Mariah Carey's story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of your own power, please like, share, and subscribe. This channel is dedicated to honoring the lives behind the legends. And Mariah, she'll always be one of the brightest. Until next time, be a diva, be a boss, be anything you want to be, but be iconic while you're doing it.